everything is moving faster. The shifts are happening faster. And I don't want this to overwhelm you. I don't want this to give you anxiety, because it's all love. It's not a matter of like, oh, you're in trouble, you need to get it together. No, it's love. The universe is showing you like, hey, you can have this now. You deserve this now. Not next week, not next year, but now. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It feels so good to sit down with you guys. I've been on my own personal journey, traveling and really downloading a lot of things that I feel like the universe has kind of been wanting me to learn. And I think me, as well as a lot of us right now, are going through a major shift. There is very much a collective shift happening in the collective consciousness right now, and you may be able to feel it, you may not. I think most of us can. These shifts are happening quicker and quicker, and I told you guys, it's gonna start getting more and more intense. It's gonna start getting more and more real. The economy is insane right now. Inflation is happening, prices are rising. There's changes happening in the dating scene. A lot of women are waking up right now to what they want out of their love lives, what they want out of life, period. And I think a lot of people, just in general, women and men, are no longer wanting to compromise. They're no longer wanting to sit back and keep making excuses and living a life that they are not satisfied with. Again, it can feel very overwhelming when the universe is showing you like literally what it is that you need to change in order to upgrade your life. But once you start learning how to take these lessons and alchemize them very quickly, it actually becomes a really beautiful portal for you to enter a new reality and actually start manifesting what it is that you want out of your life, whether that be your personal appearance, whether it be your dating, your love life, your career, money, anything. Like you can literally have, I say this all the time, you can have anything in the world that you want. But again, a lot of us right now are having to learn what changes are necessary for us to get to that place. And so what I really want to talk about today specifically is what mindset shifts are going to be required so that you can upgrade your life, not just for the betterment of yourself, but for the collective consciousness. Like this is not just like an individual like thing of like you getting what you want out of life. This is literally a collective shift that's happening for everybody. This is for the betterment of society. And so what I want to talk about today specifically are some non-negotiables that are going to be required for you to make these upgrades. I would almost look at these things as like levels. If you want to get to a certain place, you're eventually going to have to reach these points in order to continue getting to the next level. So the first thing that's gonna be really important for you to look at is how comfortable are you in your current reality? A lot of times the reason why stagnation occurs in any area of our life, or just a lack of growth, a lack of motivation to grow and to change, is our inability to be upset enough about what's actually happening in our lives. A lot of us are conditioned to literally accept the bare minimum in all areas of our lives. We're told how to literally live. We're told how to make our money. We're told what we should be spending our money on. And so a lot of times, once we get those things, once we get the job, once we get the man, once we get the, we're pretty much decently in shape, whatever. Once we get to a certain point, a lot of times what happens for a lot of people is, there's no desire to actually make change because you feel like, oh, okay, well, I'm okay now. Like, my job is okay. It pays the bills. I eat pretty decently well. Like we get very comfortable in whatever situation we're in. And what happens with that is a lot of times it kind of starts digging us into a deeper and deeper hole of comfort. Once we're in a situation for a long enough time, I can give you personal experience like in a relationship, right? The longer that you're in that relationship, even if you know that like long term, this is probably not going to be who I end up with, or this isn't giving me everything that I want out of life, but you're in that relationship for long enough, eventually what happens is you get comfortable. You don't want to make any actual changes in your life because this is all that you're used to, and you start to feel like because you've invested so much time into something, again, whether that be a relationship, a job, a habit, a friend, whatever, a way of thinking, period, right? Once you start investing your time into something long enough, you don't want to really change it because it's like, okay, well, that's going to require work. Like, you could be married for 20 years and realize that, you've been unhappy for 10, 15 years of it, but you've stuck around for long enough and you don't want to make the changes now because it's going to require you to physically actually do things and mentally and emotionally upgrade if you actually want to have better in your life. And this happens again for a lot of people, to a point where a lot of people in today's society are not actually happy with their lives, but they're just kind of going around and not pretending, because people are very visibly not happy, but a lot of people are going around accepting that life can and should be subpar. And what happens is, if you're doing this in one area of your life, a lot of times it also bleeds into other areas. And so, you're not really happy with your relationship. And so you're kind of okay with not being that happy with your job, and you're also okay with not being that happy with your body, and you're also okay with not being that happy with your routines, and it bleeds into every single thing. And so what you really need to do, and I encourage you to do this constantly, like this is not something that's like a one-time thing. Take a scan of what's happening in your life, take inventory of what's going on, what's around you, who's around you, and really truly ask yourself, whether it be every day, every week, whatever, ask yourself, am I actually really happy with this? Like, am I actually really truly satisfied? Or am I just comfortable? And if you're finding that there's any area in your life that you're not completely satisfied with, I need you to start getting madder. I need you to start actually being upset and angry, and not like to a point where it's like coming from a place of fear, but I need you to be madder for yourself. I need you to be upset enough for yourself that you decide that, hey, I actually deserve better. And I actually want to make change in these areas. Me with my fucking pen, sorry. I feel like a teacher. I need to actually make changes in my life because, first of all, I'm not satisfied. I know I'm too comfortable, but also I know that I deserve better. And that brings me into my next point. You need to start realizing that whatever it is in your life that you are not completely satisfied with, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to live a life that completely fulfills you. And some people may start to argue here like, well, sometimes some things in life require sacrifice, and I have kids, and I have this, and I have this. Then the excuses start coming. And I want to say this real quick because I think this happens for a lot of people. In life, yes, sacrifices are required. And I can't speak on this because I don't have kids, but I think this does happen to a lot of people once they do have kids. And I can't imagine what that's like to have a, totally different person that you're responsible for. So I'm sure this does definitely change things. But, even in that area, honestly, if you are in any area of your life at a point where it's like, I'm not too happy with it, but this just is the way it is, I really want you to take a deep look at yourself and ask yourself, what is the purpose of living? Why are you here? Because even if you have kids and if you're satisfied with going on throughout your days, feeling somewhat happy, but not too much. If that's your standard, you're also teaching your kids that that's the standard for them as well. And that's not a good example to be living for your kids either. That's not helping them at all. If you're raising people and you want them to be happy and fulfilled, but you're not happy and fulfilled, then what's the point? What are you doing? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to live a fulfilling life, whether you have people that you're responsible for or not. And a lot of us get to a place where, again, we're so comfortable with the bare minimum, subpar, whatever, with the way that we treat ourselves, the way that we let other people treat us, that we start to genuinely believe that we do not deserve better. And life is not perfect. Like, life is never going to be perfect. We're not chasing perfection, but we are chasing fulfillment and happiness. We are deserving of having true love in our lives, that things in our lives that actually truly fulfill us. And I think a lot of us have been conditioned to think otherwise. And I really, really, really encourage you to challenge that conditioning in any area of your life. If you are finding that you are not satisfied, I want you to ask yourself, how does this reflect the way in which I feel about myself? Because, for example, if you're at a place in your life where you have people who do not value you and who do not treat you that well at all, it's because you don't value yourself. It's because you don't believe yourself to be worthy of more. If you're in a place in your life where you don't feel good with your body, if you're able-bodied, if you're healthy, if you don't have like a chronic illness or disease, what it comes down to at the end of the day, as harsh as it sounds, is that you don't value yourself enough in that area of your life to make the change, and you're just not doing it. And so you have to get to a point in every single thing in your life where you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, what does this reflect about what does this say about the way that I feel about myself? And again, it's not just about saying, okay, I'm gonna make the change. It's about going within and doing that deep inner work to understand why you are lacking in self-worth in that area of your life, because there's something happening within you. Maybe it's some childhood trauma. Maybe it's just things that you've learned growing up. Maybe it's an experience that you've been through that's really, made you start believing things about yourself that are not necessarily true. There's something going on within you that's making you believe that you don't deserve better, and you really need to go and do the work, whether that be through therapy, shadow work. I have tons of videos on that. I need to make a new video on shadow work, which I may do soon. But there's a lot of different kinds of work that you can do. If you want to make any kind of change in your life, if you want to upgrade your realities, you constantly need to be looking at your self-worth, and you need to be asking yourself, what do I feel that I deserve in this life? Like, you actually genuinely deserve happiness and joy and love. Like, what is the point of being here if we're not happy, right? Like, what's the point? Like, you have this one life. Maybe we reincarnate, I don't know, but take advantage of every single day that you're here on this planet. And that actually brings me into my next point. You need to start moving, babe. You need to start believing. You need to stop believing that you have as much time in the world to make the changes to eventually, if 5 years from now is when I will, I'll go after what I want. For now, I'm just gonna keep being comfortable. Maybe when I'm in my 40s is when I'm gonna really start traveling and doing that kind of stuff. But right now, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm gonna spend my money on whatever else. No, you need to start getting serious about the things that you want now. Like, yes, life is long. Yes, you will have time to do the things, to pursue your interests, to do the thing, whatever. But you could also die tomorrow. And I would really, really, really hate for you to go on throughout your life and then be gone and you haven't gone after what you want. I think a lot of the reason why people feel stuck and why change feels so overwhelming for some people is because they don't want to move. They feel like there's as much time in the world to make the change, and they want to make the change 5-10 years down the line. No, if you're feeling called to make any kind of change in your life, I encourage you to ask yourself, how can you make that change today? How can you align to your dream self starting right now? Not tomorrow morning, not next week, not next Monday when the week resets. Today, like right now, right? I don't care what time. I woke up at 11 a.m. today, girl. And I'm still sitting here. I was like, I'm filming this video today. And I'm still gonna get to the gym. I'm still gonna get done the things that I need to get done, because that's what's gonna, I don't care. I have to get it done. I cannot sit here and say, oh, but this week I didn't get this week off to a good start. I didn't get this month off to a good start. I didn't, next 2024. No, we're not doing that anymore. You need to start now. That you're getting what's happening. Again, everything is moving faster. The shifts are happening faster. And I don't want this to overwhelm you. I don't want this to give you anxiety, because it's all love. It's not a matter of oh, you're in trouble, you need to get it together. No, it's love. The universe is showing you hey, you can have this now. You deserve this now. Not next week, not next year, but now. And again, there's gonna be some things in your life that you can't change right away. You may have to save up a little bit of money to do the things that you wanna do. Maybe you need to, go find a new job before you can quit this current one, right? There is some time required sometimes for some things, but there is change that can happen within you and within your external life right now. You can do the things now. You can eat the healthy meals now. You don't need to wait next week to start eating clean. You don't need to wait till next month to start getting serious about your workouts. You need to do it now. Even me with this video, I told myself, I was like, oh, when Mercury retrograde is over, I'm gonna start getting back into filming again and doing my sit down videos. No, we're doing it now. I have a lot to talk about. And I say these things with such harshness because I am a walking example of this. I am not perfect. Y'all know that. If you guys watch my vlogs, y'all know. I use myself as an example with these videos because these are things that I have to implement myself. This is not just a matter of oh, I'm telling you this from the other side. No, it's happening for everybody right now. Collectively, we can sit down, plan all we want, brainstorm. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Plan. No, make the action today. What can you do today? If you keep saying you want to start a YouTube channel, girl, whip out the camera today. Whip out your phone today and start recording. It's not a matter of oh, but I'm planning. No, get in front of the camera today. Seriously. And I'm telling you, when you start moving like this, when you start moving with this sense of urgency, and I'm not saying to move from a place of like, don't rush things, don't move from a place of fear, but you know when things are coming from like you know when the universe is pushing you to do something. You know when the universe is telling you like, hey, it's time to start moving. You know when you're being called to do something truly out of a place of love versus fear. And if you don't know that, if you're having a bit of trouble kind of distinguishing between anxiety and intuition, I know that could be a bit difficult. Do the inner work, right? Make time every single day, meditate every single day if you can. Sit with, I used to say like, oh, meditation every day doesn't matter. It does. Like, do the inner work, sit with yourself, make time every single day. If you have to wake up at 4 a.m. to do it, make the time, sit with yourself and really, really, really go within. We're at a place now where we cannot bypass the inner work. And I think for a lot of people, this change that's happening, this movement that needs to happen, it's going to foundationally be starting with the inner work. And that is a daily practice. That's something that's going to happen every single day. Hold on, I'm waiting for these cicadas to stop. I'm kind of sweating. It's getting hot here in Texas. Jesus fucking Christ. Why did I film outside? The inner work is gonna have to be the foundational thing, like the morning routine, doing what makes you feel good. One thing that I've been really, really into this recently is having I've been seeing girls say this like on TikTok and stuff, like a menu for like what you do in the morning. So I'm not super big on like having a super, super rigid, like do the same thing every single morning kind of routine. I'm really into like being flexible and giving myself the options. So even today, I told you guys I woke up at like 11 in the morning, but I still woke up. I did my bone broth. I like to do my bone broth first thing in the morning. That's like my thing. It's like really good for your gut. And then I really like to like ground myself. So I like to get some sunlight. I go on the grass like barefoot, do some grounding, again, meditate. But you know, your morning routine can be as long and as short as you want. It's just getting like you gotta make the time. The inner work is not going to be something that we can bypass anymore. If you continue trying to bypass the spiritual work or the inner work, it's gonna make everything so much harder in your external world. We can't keep distracting ourselves. There's so much happening in our external world that we have no other choice but to understand that what's happening in our inner world is a direct reflection of what's happening in our external world. And if we want to see change happening not only in our lives but in society, we're gonna have to sit with ourselves and make that change first in our inner world. Because also what happens when you keep waiting and you keep putting things off and like saying that you're gonna do things later down the line is you eventually start to feel like you're a victim to your circumstance. And again, like the ocean, like the waves analogy that I was giving earlier, whatever life is throwing at you, you know, maybe someone treats you a little bit shitty, or you go on a date with or you're dating a guy and you're not happy with the way he's treating you, or your job is pissing you off. Like these waves are going to start to feel heavier and heavier, and you're going to start to feel like you're drowning faster and faster. And it's because you're putting off the things that you need to be doing to take care of yourself. You're less likely to get triggered by anything when you are sitting with yourself and you're doing the work that you need to be doing. You're a lot less likely to feel like the world is against you, like everything is going to shit. You're less likely just to feel pessimistic about life when you're actually taking care of yourself. And I hate to say it because I struggle with this still sometimes. Like this is not something that's like very, very easy for me either, but it's something that again, I'm having to learn for myself. And really at the end of the day, like I hate to say it, but there's nobody to blame for what's going on in your life. You can blame the world, you can blame the people, but there's no one else to blame but yourself. You're choosing who you surround yourself with. And again, if you have gotten too comfortable, if you have started to believe yourself to be unworthy of the life that you want, and if you've gotten complacent, then all of these things, these waves, whatever's happening in the world is going to feel so much heavier. So again, I just encourage you to recognize that you have power, you have control. No matter what's happening in the world around you, I say it all the time, you have control over how you spend your energy, how you spend your free time, how you're taking care of yourself, what you're putting into your body. You have control over all of it. And I really, really, really encourage you, especially right now, to look at those 3 different things. Look at everything in your life and ask yourself those questions. Am I too comfortable? Am I acting like someone who is not deserving of what I want? And am I being complacent? Am I procrastinating? Am I not taking accountability? If that's happening in any area of your life, then it's time to sit down and start understanding why and making those changes. And I promise you, once you start doing that, everything starts shifting. Like life just becomes so much more fun. It becomes so, you start realizing that like manifestation is not just some like bullshit that people like talk about like on the internet. It's real. Like the law of attraction is real. You start believing yourself to be worthy of the things that you want. You start first recognizing like, no, actually I want more out of life. Like whatever's happening right now, like no, I deserve more. I want more. I deserve more. What's that Nicki Minaj? You guys know that Nicki Minaj interview where she was like, everybody says like it's about who wants it the most, and I want it the most. And that's literally what it comes down to with anything in your life. Once you start recognizing that you deserve to be happy and you can have what you want, and that, you know, it's not a matter of like, oh, I'll have it later. No, you're gonna have it now. Like you can have it now. Make the decision today that you are deserving and you are capable of accessing the life that you want. Tell yourself that right now. Affirm to yourself that you are capable. Life gets to be easy for you. Life gets to be fun for you. You get to have what you want. You get that choice. Just affirm that to yourself. Tell yourself that as many times as you need until you start believing it, because I promise you, your external world will start changing to reflect that once you start genuinely believing that, and again, not putting off the change that's required to get that. It's internal, but it's also external too. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it made sense in some way. Let me know in the comments down below, how are you guys doing? Are you guys feeling this shift as well? What areas of your life are you feeling this shift in? Again, for me, it's happening like in literally every single area, especially like my diet. Like I'm always good about like working out, but nutrition is like really, it's not super hard for me. I'm relatively healthy, but like girl, I've been breaking out. Like I've been having to recognize like I can't, like I've been cutting, I'm making a totally different video on this, but like I'm cutting out like a lot of stuff from my diet, and it's not been easy, but like it's necessary, you know? Even like money manifestation, like I think I still have some like limiting beliefs around like money, and so I've been having to like go do like a lot of inner work with that as well. So it's been happening a lot for me, and I imagine that it's also happening a lot for a lot of you guys as well. So definitely let me know what's happening in your lives. Update me. And yeah, I hope you're having an amazing week. I hope you're doing good. I hope that you know that you are loved and that you are, again, deserving of whatever it is that you want. This world is changing. Like there's a shift happening. I'm just really excited to see all of us kind of shifting into our higher selves. And so yeah, I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next one.